It's safe to say most of us have become a little laid back when it comes to fashion this year, and it's hardly surprising. But there's a fine line between looking hot and just looking like a hot mess. And in today's video, I'm sharing 10 fashion mistakes that are making us all look, well, a little cheap. Now, I'm not talking about the basics like a pulled thread or a hem that's coming down or stains on our clothes. There are some subtle fashion mistakes that most of us are making, even me, and they're just sending out a really unflattering message. So in today's video, I'm sharing 10 of the more subtle fashion mistakes that I see regularly and simple ways to fix them. I know these types of videos can be a little contentious, but if you know me and you've been following me here on YouTube for a while, you will know that I'm not a stickler when it comes to hard and fast fashion rules. I've always believed if you love something and it makes you feel good, then wear it and enjoy it. But I have seen some subtle mistakes that are just giving off a bit of an unflattering vibe, and there's simple things to fix. So I thought that I'd share some of these fashion mistakes that I have been seeing. Now, I must say that I'm guilty of 2 of these mistakes, and I will tell you what they are at the very end of this video, but there are 2 mistakes that I'm featuring that I am very guilty of making regularly, and I'm going to do my absolute best to try and change that. So if you'd like to see the mistakes that I keep making and 8 other mistakes that are really easy to fix, then just keep watching. The first mistake is really a simple one, and it's about not giving our outfits enough shape. And I think that's happened lately because we've been spending a lot of time wearing slightly oversized clothing, but giving an outfit a little bit of shape is one of the most flattering things that we can do. Now, I'm not talking about form-fitting and wearing tight clothing. All I'm meaning is just to show off a little bit of our figure and give our outfits just a little bit of natural shape. That can be as simple as throwing on a belt or simply wearing a crossbody handbag. Something as simple as that can just give you a little bit more, or give your outfit a little bit more shape. And again, that is really flattering. Even something as simple as tying a shirt or knotting a t-shirt, whatever it takes just to give your look a little bit more shape. Even bum bags. I've got 2 maxi dresses that are just super floaty and super oversized. What I have been doing lately, because it's coming into summer here in New Zealand, is I've been teaming them with a bum bag. You might call them a fanny pack. We call them a bum bag here in New Zealand. Hey, tell me what you do call them in the comments below. I'd like to know. But I have been wearing those with a bum bag, so that just gives the supersized maxi dresses a little bit more shape and makes them a little bit more flattering. The next fashion mistake, and it's quite possibly a bit of a stretch to call it a mistake, but it is wearing a oversized slouchy bag. I think the only time these slouchy style boho type handbags work is if you're going to the gym or wearing workout gear. They're very much a casual look, but I do see them regularly worn with more smart casual outfits and work attire. And what they do is they just drag the whole outfit down. So think about your handbags and accessories as part of your outfit, and a more structured, classic, simple handbag will always make your outfit look more stylish. So steer clear of the supersized slouchy bags and swap them out for something that's just a little more structured. Another fashion faux pas that does tend to make us look cheap, and I suspect I'm going to come under fire for this one, but it's wearing really trendy pieces that are out of date. So really trendy pieces from maybe a couple of years ago. So they're really obviously old, and unless you've worked them in really well to an existing outfit and to make your outfit look more modern and more current, it does tend to make you look a little bit cheap and a little bit stale, and it just doesn't tend to work. And I can hear what you guys are going to say already in the comments, but it is something that I think is quite easily avoided. And when I'm talking about these trend pieces, I mean really distinct trends, like really loud florals or real statement pieces that are tied to an era or a time. So I think we do have to be careful with those pieces because they don't stand the test of time. And if we try and make them do that, it's just so easy to get it wrong. Budget embellishments always tend to look budget. You pay a fortune for beautifully sequined pieces and any item that has pearl detail or any sort of embellishment that is really modern and stylish is usually expensive. So if you're not wanting to spend a lot of money, I would steer clear of any clothing that has embellishments on it. The other thing is budget embellishments don't tend to last long either. So quite often sequins will fall off and they just don't stand the test of time. They look good when they're hanging in the store, but they just don't last, and they do tend to look a little cheap. So what I suggest instead is buying simple classic pieces and let your accessories be the embellishment. So you can update your accessories regularly and let those accessories kind of dress up a piece as opposed to buying a budget piece that is embellished and not very well done. This one is really simple, but it's also easy to overlook, and that is just leaving your shoelaces in your shoes for too long. Shoelaces that have seen better days, or even shoelaces that are just not tied nicely. If the laces are all twisted and not sitting flat, they just look a little untidy and a little cheap and rough around the edges. So sometimes it's as simple as investing in a new pair of laces to just upgrade an existing pair of shoes, or even relacing them, making sure that both shoes are laced the same way so that they look matching, and also just make sure that the laces are in good shape, that they're not faded or stained, or the white is off-white. So just take a little bit of notice of the laces in your shoes, and it is a simple way just to update any shoes. And speaking of feet and footwear, another fashion faux pas that I think is a really easy one to fix is making sure that your feet are in good shape. So if it's summer and you're wearing sandals, then make sure that you've had a pedicure or your nails are in good shape. And certainly in winter, don't forego socks or tights in the name of fashion, because that is just, it's not practical, and it's, in my mind, just not a good look either. Another mistake that we often make, and it does make our outfits look a little cheap, and that is not including accessories. I think accessories are a little bit like the icing on the cake. They are the final piece in the fashion puzzle, and all too often it's the piece of the puzzle that we just forget or we run out of time. So accessories are really key to just finishing off your look and making you look really polished. One of the things that I do is make sure that I can see the accessories, or as many accessories as possible. So it's all about merchandising them, and what I do tend to do is I have some accessories that I'm currently wearing on my dressing table, and then I try and rotate them so I don't keep everything I own out on show all of the time. But I kind of rotate things, and once I tire of a few pieces, I'll put them away and bring out a few new pieces. So I've always got something new to accessorize with. So don't forget the accessories. They are that finishing touch that just add that little bit of fashion magic. This next fashion mistake that does tend to just look really cheap is budget faux fur. Now, I'm all for faux fur, but really budget faux fur just doesn't look good. It doesn't stand the test of time. It rubs up, it mats together, it tends to just look really cheap and nasty really quickly. So I would probably prefer to opt for pieces that don't have fur trims if I'm going down that budget route. Otherwise, I would try and spend a little bit more money and invest in a slightly better quality faux fur, because it will look more real. It'll look more real. That's probably not great English, but it will look real. It will look good for longer, which I think is really important, and it will just look more quality and more sophisticated. So the budget faux fur is just a fashion no-no from me. Next up, one of the mistakes that I make on the regular, and I'm even making it today, and no, it's not my red lipstick, it's not my hair, and things that I regularly get pulled up for here on this channel. But I did mention the red lipstick in the last video that I made, and so many of you came to support me in the comments below and said there is no age on wearing red lipstick, which I cannot agree more. But the mistake that I make regularly and I see happening all the time is this. It's wearing a hair tie on your wrist. These are hair ties. They belong in your hair or in your handbag and not on your wrist. I've found myself in work meetings, client meetings, and I've looked down and I've got my hair tie or my scrunchie on my wrist. Sometimes there's even little bits of hair that I can see there caught in it. It is not a good look, but it's a really simple thing that you can change, and when you do change it, it just makes you look far more put together. Okay, I've left the best one to last, and this is one that I'm guilty of making, and I'm gonna flick up a few photos here of when I've made this mistake, but it's wearing fishnets and tights under denim shorts. I've tried to make this look work, and I over the years have thought that it can be cool, but I've completely changed my mind on this one, and it really just always tends to look cheap and, dare I say, a little nasty. So please, if you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments below. But looking at this picture of me, I am pretty convinced that it is not a good look, and so that is why it's made it here onto my fashion mistakes list. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, I'd love you to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.